All right, guys, so welcome to our video. We're gonna do a little series here, and it's gonna be about pain-free adjusting, and we're gonna do 3 videos, okay? Yeah. So the very first video, we wanna talk about not creating a bunch of tension when we're adjusting a patient. So we can get into that.
Cool, so one of the main concepts here that we always talk about is adjusting from the sweet spot. And what that really means is that you're not just totally slack and you're also not cranking a bunch of tension. What we're trying to do is have the spine float as much as possible and have a very, very specific contact, specific fulcrum, so that we're adjusting really the intrinsic muscles that stabilize that spine. But we don't want to just blast through everything. And so what we find is when you're doing the setup in all of them, we'll show you specifically in the cervicals this time, but you don't want to go from where things are just sitting slack and then you go put a big massive input in there, because then what's that called? It's a whiplash, right? Nobody wants that. It's going to create pain and a lack of safety for the person on the table. They're not going to trust you, probably not going to want to come back a whole lot. The other thing is what we've all been taught to do, and I don't even know why this is, but we just crank all this tension in there like this, and you'll realize I'm going from total slack. There's no muscular effort on my body right now, and right there I just start to meet muscular engagement. That's the sweet spot. It's like any movement I do from there is going right in to that muscle, specifically the intrinsic muscles. Now, if I start loading tension in there and it's starting to fight me, then I'm having to use my own muscles to overcome and do more and more tension. Okay, and that's also going to be quite uncomfortable for the patient. So I'm going to demonstrate 2 uncomfortable adjustments on our lovely patient here.
Just one thing before we go there. When we do start loading all that tension in there, that's when you see chiropractors doing things like trying to distract. Wiggle your toes. What did you have for breakfast?
Breathe in, breathe out.
Yes.
All these things are really unnecessary if we get this set up right. The first one is like if we don't get enough slack taken out and you're just going from neutral and you could just whip through there. I'm not even going to do it to them because everything is loose and you just slam into the side of their neck. That's not good for them, it's not good for you, but it certainly won't create a comfortable adjustment. Where most people err though, I think, what we see a lot is actually too much tension. And so what they're doing is they're coming over here, I start to meet tension, he's resisting me, and so I get a little tenser, and then I don't have good leverage, so I'm gonna come over here, and I'm doing this, and I'm just like, just relax, shake your fingers, wiggle your toes, all this kind of stuff. And it may be effective for a while, but it's not creating safety. It's not creating a comfortable, pain-free adjustment. So what we want you guys to do instead is, with all of your adjusting, is just make sure that we get to the sweet spot. So it's not actually in range. It's just right once all the slack is taken out, and then you can go from there. All right? So join us in the next video. We're going to talk about 2 other things that are creating pain for the patient.
My name is John Wayne Johnson, and I'm a student at Park University. I am in my 10th trimester, getting ready to graduate in April. My favorite thing about the seminar is the combining of energies, both the technical aspects from Patrick and then the Zen aspect from Aaron. The fact that I needed to practice the simple lift before I try to give it to someone, I think that encourages me to become the best I could be before I put hands on. Everything that I've learned here, it's going to make me a more complete chiropractor, and it's going to save my body over the long run. I've already seen it in my community internship where patients receive the adjustments so much easier, and they're like, that didn't hurt. That's the first time someone adjusted me, and it just felt like it slid in and it was comfortable. And that's what I love about Syntropy.